Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Aishaira binti Muhammad Ismadi with metric ID 2019282424 from EC110-4L. So for this mini project, I'll be conducting 5 testing, which is water content, particle density test, particle size grading and texture, field density and permeability test. For water content determination, the first step is to weigh an empty tray and record it as M1, and then take the required quantity of wet soil sample from the sampling location into the tray, and then record the weight of tray plus wet soil as M2. Next, by using air drying method, dry soil for 24 hours, and after 24 hours, record the weight of tray plus dry soil as M3, and repeat the test for 3 times to find the average. For the particle density test, the apparatus needed are jar, rod, water, weighing scale, and dry soil sample. So for the first step, weigh an empty clean jar and record it as M1, and then fill the jar with dry soil until 3/4 full. Next, weigh the jar plus dry soil and record it as M2, and then fill the jar with water until full. Next, by using rod, stir the soil and water together. Then weigh the jar plus soil plus water and record it as M3. Clean the jar and fill it with only water to the top, and then weigh the jar plus only water and as M4, and repeat the test for 3 times to find the average. For particle size grading and texture, first I prepare a sieve with a 1 cm and 0.1 cm opening. Next, weigh each of the sieves to be used. And weigh the dry soil sample. And then for the fourth step, arrange the sieve from largest to smallest opening and place the tray below the smallest sieve. Pour the soil into the sieve and place a cap over it. Next, shake the sieve for 15 minutes. And record the weight of each sieve and the bottom tray with its reading soil. For field density test, I use a core cutter method. So first, find the volume of core cutter by measuring its internal dimension by using the formula V pi d square h over 4. Next, weight the core cutter and place the cutter inside the soil. Next, place the dolly over the cutter and drive the cutter into the soil with the help of hammer. For the sixth step, take out the carrier containing soil by removing soil around the area. And then trim off the excess soil above the edges of the cutter. Then, carefully weight the cutter filled with soil. Next step, take some soil out for water content determination. And then repeat the test at 2 or 3 different locations to find the average density. For permeability testing, apparatus needed is dry soil sample, plastic boiler as a filter, water, and a timer. So for the first step, we need to fill the boiler with dry soil. And then fill with water until soil is covered. And then wait until water starts dripping and start the timer. And then mark the height of the water. As for this discussion, there are a few precaution steps that needs to be followed during the testing. First, we need to use the correct equipment and know how to handle it properly to prevent any incident. Next, wear a proper clothing while testing to avoid any injuries, and dry the soil perfectly to get an accurate result. Lastly, repeat the step for 2 or 3 times to get an accurate data. Next, for the water content testing, we get to identify the type of soil sample used based on the water content amount. Next, for particle density testing, we get to obtain the specific gravity GS, which is 1.4. Next, for particle size rating and texture testing, we get to obtain the composition percent of each gravel, sand, silt, and clay and classify it based on the British Soil Classification System. For field density testing, we get to obtain the dry density of soil, which is 0.17 gram per meter cube. And lastly, for permeability testing, we obtain the time taken for water to stop dripping, which is 6 minutes. Type of soil used is fine soil, and texture of soil is clay. As for the conclusion, we can see that this testing is done to ensure that students can understand the appropriate technique to soil engineering problem with an awareness of limitation. We can also see that the result of this experiment are based on the type of soil used and how we conduct the experiment. So that is all from me. Thank you.